of yourself, and this is the same thing that I want to do. The milk that I'm talking about is found in 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter, the 1st through the 3rd verses. And you also said again, it's funny that you brought that up. Everyone have their sword of the Spirit. Because if you don't have your sword of the Spirit, how then can you fight off the devil? So take out your swords of the Spirit, and we'll be going to the first book of Peter, and the 2nd chapter, 1st through the 3rd verses. 1 Peter. 2nd chapter. Verses 1 through 3.
What chapter?
2nd chapter. 1 Peter. 2nd chapter. Verses 1 through 3. And the scripture reads as the, are you there, Rabbi? I want to give you a chance to get there. All right, Rabbi, here we go. It reads as this. Wherefore, laying aside all malice, and all guile, and hypocrisies and envies, and all evil speakings. Critical verse here, number 2. As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be ye have tasted that Yah is gracious. I want to focus on verse 2. As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word. Peter is describing the process of a babe entering the world with a person entering the walk for the first time. And the critical thing is that when a person enters this walk for the first time, that they get the pure, sincere milk of Yah's word, which means that there is a portion of Yah's word that is specifically meant for newborn babes. And we'll get into what that portion is in the next verse that we're going to read. But there is a significant portion of the word that is meant specifically for newborn babes. What happens is that when children are born to the world, all the mothers that we have in the audience today, you know well that your children were weaned with milk up until a certain point of time. That point of time was regulated by the time they were ready to chew solid food. Up until that point, you must take your regimen of milk so that you can what? As the scripture says, grow thereby. So, as newborn babes desire, the person that enters the walk for the first time, they are desiring what? The knowledge and sincere milk of the word that they've heard that what? Rang in their ear. That's why we have new people here today. That's why I gave this message today, so that we all will be cognizant of the fact that we want to have new people coming into the temple. And we do not want to scare them off, but we want to attract them and give them the milk of the word so that they will what? Grow thereby and come and join with us. Brother James is going to have a new initiative, the National Identity Awareness Initiative, every Wednesday. During that contact with new people, we will definitely be coming across individuals that will be interested in what they're hearing. And they will be wanting to come and learn more. And then those people will want to come and be a member. It's going to happen. With what they're going to hear, trust me, the Spirit will eventually get into their ears. Every Wednesday, some people will come by, and we have to be ready to give them what? The sincere milk of the Word. I contest to you today that as a people, we weren't given that word when we came over here. See, we didn't get the sincere milk of the Word. We ended up getting Similac and Enfamil. Okay? We didn't get the sincere milk. They gave us a substitute. They gave us Info-Christianity. See what I'm saying? They gave us Semi-Islam. See, those are the things, the milk that you were given, and that's why you haven't grown as a nation. See, we were given substitutes. See, you weren't given the sincere milk of Yah's word that makes you grow. You have no choice but to grow when you are given the sincere milk of the word. Let us turn to the next scripture that I have for you. And like I said, I only have a few of them. I'm not going to be very long, but I'm going to take my time. We've got Hebrews, the 5th chapter. So we all please turn to Hebrews, the 5th chapter. And we're going to start at the 12th verse. And just watch how all the scriptures that I'm going to present to you, watch and see how they all groove together. That's what the children of Israel are supposed to do.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be able to flip through this book and make Isaiah agree with Peter. And we don't have Jeremiah disagreeing with John. This is how you know when someone has the spirit of Yah. When someone can articulate and go through the book in the correct manner. We want to go to the book of Hebrews, the 5th chapter. And we want to start at the 12th verse. And it reads as this.
What chapter?
I'm sorry, the 5th chapter.
5 and 12.
5 and 12, starting at the 12th verse. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers. He's speaking to Israelites, see? He's speaking to Hebrews. And he's telling them, and this is the Apostle Paul, for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yah, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. See, verse 12 is letting you know that we have people, all right, that are teaching that ought not to be teachers. Why? Because they haven't fed upon the sincere milk of the word. And through their teachings, you can tell whether or not they've had the sincere milk of the word. That's why you have brothers and sisters teaching over the internet that the only day that you are supposed to sleep is on the Shabbat. That all the other days of the week you're supposed to work. See? This is where you get the comforter as a brother from San Diego, okay, with some garb on. You know, this is where you get all the false doctrines and the false statements, because people are teaching that have not tasted of Yah's goodness, the goodness of His word. And this is what it is. And watch this. What's the next verse 13? He says, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness. Why? For he is a babe. He has to be unskilled in the word of righteousness because he don't have any experience in the word of righteousness. Doesn't mean that he's an evil person. It just means that you are unskilled. Unskilled does not mean bad. Unskilled means that you need to learn. That's all it is. You need a correct teacher. You need a Hebrew Israelite. A messianic Hebrew Israelite. Your heart is still overjoyed though. And that's what happens when people hear the word in the sincerity. It's overjoyed. But see, when people are overjoyed over a lie, you know what's going on. You know that the milk has not been implied into the teaching and knowledge and understanding of the person that's teaching. Everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. That is the person that is skilled in the word of righteousness, because they are able to chew on strong meat. In Genesis the 49th chapter and the 12th verse, you don't have to turn there, but scripture says that his teeth were white with milk. In order to be able to drink strong meat, you have to have eat strong meat, you have to have healthy teeth. And that is what milk is for. That's why it says that the teeth are white with milk. It takes the wisdom of the Most High to break down the scriptures and then chew them up so that you can give them and break them down to the next individual. Break it down to its simplest form, just like you would a fraction. You break it down to its common denominator, and because you have the spirit of Yah, you have the ability to do so. Yep. It's like I said in the TV program, the apostles were mailmen. See, they carried the mail of the Most High. They had the spirit to open up the letters in the bag, and they also had the spirit to interpret the letter. So it's a deep thing when you have run your course of milk, and then you have weaned yourself to strong meat, and then you can tackle it because you have the wisdom to do so. Let us go to the next chapter. Let us go to 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter. Actually, Sister Hawkins, why don't you give me 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter and the 20th verse, and Brother Yehoshaphat, I'll pick on you. Give me 1 Corinthians 13 and 11, and we want to further up the idea about the babe. Sister Hawkins, 1 Corinthians 14 and 20. Brother Jehoshaphat, 1 Corinthians 13 and 11.
14 and 20.
14 and 20.
Brethren, be not children in understanding. Howbeit in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men.
Did y'all see that? Did y'all read that? Be ye as what, Sister Hawkins?
Be ye not as children in understanding.
Be ye not as children in understanding, but in malice be what?
Be ye children.
Be ye children, because you know what? When we read the 1 Peter, what did 1 Peter say? Wherefore laying aside all malice, all anger, see? Because children don't know those attributes yet. See? A child that's bringing into the world doesn't know those attributes yet. However, when a newborn babe is born in the world, we have to be realistic and know that those things have been influenced on them. But we know that they have to shed those things along you shed with the old man. Those things have to go along with the old man. However, and what Paul is saying here is that he wants people to be children in understanding. I mean, to be not like children in understanding. Why, Brother Jehoshaphat? 1 Corinthians 13 and 11.
When I was a child,
why?
I spake as a child.
Why?
I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
That's it. You became a man that when you had your full meal of strong meat, you become a man and you've had the wisdom of the Creator to go through the scriptures and decipher them correctly so that you give them to other people. Let us go to Isaiah the 28th chapter and the 9th verse. And we're going to go through this rather quickly. First is Isaiah the 28th chapter and the 9th verse. 28:9.
Isaiah what now?
The 28th chapter and the 9th verse. Remember, be as children when it comes to being malice, but in intelligence and in the wisdom of Yah, be like men.